Hey guys, this is Zach. I'm going to do a little WWE Mattel Defining Moments figure review here, since I've seen so many of them online, and I have like a bunch of them. And Defining Moments by far, I think. I mean, obviously it's Mattel's top line of the figures, but these are of the Defining Moments I have are my favorite. Actually, I think I only have one more that's not here, and that's Michael's, because I don't know, I just really don't like that figure. The only problem with Defining Moments is that some of these, I would have to argue that they weren't from a moment that defined the guy. I mean, when you say defining moment, I mean, you got to think that defined the character. And Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25, did that define him? No, I just don't understand. I mean, these figures are all cool, but like the Austin, for example, that didn't define him. I would say that if they wanted, I mean, Austin's actual defining moment would have been, the King of the Ring with the Jake the Snake thing. If you want to get technical about it, of course, they wouldn't be able to give him any kind of attire or outfit or anything for the figure. Anyway, let's start with the Warrior. He's from WrestleMania 7. This is an awesome figure. I mean, all around, like, just great detail. It's funny how he has the picture of himself on one knee pad and Macho Man on the other. This guy is a crazy fuck. I mean, in real life, there is just something wrong with this guy. But it made for a hell of a wrestling personality because, man, I mean, who doesn't know the Ultimate Warrior? He's just a crazy, friggin' crazy guy. I was looking at his Twitter thing the other day, and man, he's still fucked up. The only problem I have with this figure is that his face never looked like that. I mean, Warrior was always going nuts and flying off the handle. Now, that face does not spell out, I'm flying off the handle. You know what I mean? Like the Legend 6 Warrior that's coming out, that's a great face for Warrior. His mouth is open, he's going crazy, like mad face. I mean, this face isn't bad, but it doesn't, show me the Warrior I remember from when I was small. Other than that, there's nothing else that I would say that I would change about this figure. I mean, everything about it is good. The coat he has on is cool. I mean, it's soft enough to take off, unlike this one Undertaker figure I have where, like, if you wanted to pose him in any way, you're not doing it because the coat is so friggin' thick. This one, though, this is good. That could come off if you wanted to take it off. I don't know if any kids get these and, like, play with them or anything, but I mean, for fucking $25, I mean, I remember when I used to get Jakks figures when I was small in the Hasbros, and I played with that shit back then. But they were only like $3.99 or something like that, so you could go home and smash them around. Like these, I mean, if some kid tells their mom, I need to get 2 figures to take them home and play with them, and, the parents see the price and, holy shit, $50 for my kid to take 2 figures home and smash them around and probably scrape all the nose or the paint off the nose and shit like that and rip the tassels off, and you find the coat laying in a pile of shit. I mean, I don't know. The prices are crazy. I think Mattel's directing these figures more towards collectors. And I didn't collect figures at all until I got a couple of these for Christmas. And I was like, holy shit, like WWE's figures are looking really good. So I just like bought a ton of them over the past year because they're all awesome. Like some of them are kind of shitty, but for the most part, I mean, they're just great. So that figure, I mean, that Warrior figure right there, he's great. I mean, he gets 5 stars from me. Austin from the Raw before WrestleMania 15, that is a great figure. I mean, that takes what he looked like that night, and that's it. I mean, Mattel did a great job with this figure. There's nothing really, I mean, I'm not going to spin him around or anything like that because there's nothing on the back to show like there was with Warrior, but, it's just the Austin 316 shirt underneath. He's got the jeans and shit. The hat, what does it say on there? Stone Cold. I don't know. I think it just says Stone Cold Steve Austin with a little skull on there. I don't know if you can see it. The camera's a little blurry. But the only complaint I would have about this figure, if I had to pick one, would be his necklace, because it's so thick. I mean, he had just had one of those tiny little chains on that he used to wear that was like not too much thicker than a piece of floss, dental floss. So if I had to pick something, I would pick that necklace. But other than that, no, top to bottom, that's a great figure. 5 stars that would get from me too. Triple H, again, I mean, this figure, what was that from? Royal Rumble, I think. It was one of his returns. I have the package in the other room. I want to go check it out. But this figure is great too. I bought this at Walmart. It was just sitting there, and I stopped in. I was like, I was sick of going there and not seeing anything. I was like, you know what, I'll break down and buy the trips. It seems like the Defining Moments, I mean, you never have a hard time finding them because they're so goddamn expensive. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to buy it. And that same night, I bought Scream 4, and that was a horrible, terrible mistake. At least I got this figure made up for it, because that movie sucked. I fell asleep. It was just a terrible movie. But yeah, this Triple H figure, he's... honestly, I don't have any complaints about him. I did have complaints with other Triple H figures, thinking that they could have done a better job with his head scan, but this one, I mean, they got it down now. I never took like the jacket off or anything, but I think it's like a wife beater or something he has underneath. That's when he came out with that shirt. That's cool. So that one would get 5 stars from me too. So far we got 3 that are just, they're great, you know. Now this Macho Man, this is a funny story behind this. He was the first Defining Moments I ever got. He's from the WrestleMania 7, actually, to go with this Warrior, because that's they're from the same thing. Me and a couple of my buddies went up to Kmart, and we saw this, and we couldn't believe it. We're like, holy shit, like, we got to get this thing. So 3 of us, was it 3? Yeah, I think it was 3 of us. We all walk to the register with this Macho Man, thinking, oh shit, we're lucky. Like, we considered ourselves lucky for even finding this thing. And the lady at the register is like, ooh, what is this? Like the hot new item? Some guy just came and bought 7 of them. And I'm thinking, well, because the Jagoff was probably going to go sell them or something, you know. Thinking thinking the same thing we thought, that it was going to be rare. And as it turned out, as I did more figure searching, this figure became incredibly easy to find. Like, this thing was a shelf warmer. Everywhere I went, there was at least 10 to 12 of this figure. I don't really understand why, because, I mean, this is a great figure. I don't know, maybe little kids don't buy it, and everybody had them or something. I don't know, but, like, maybe by now they're cleaned out and you can't find them as easily. But, I don't know, like, he was just everywhere when I went to look for figures. I was always confident that there was going to be a Macho Man there. Somehow I did manage to lose the little tassel that was on top of his hat, and I was thinking to myself, I better be careful with that, because it was falling off the hat so easy. But sure enough, it's just gone now. I don't know how it happened, because it's not like I play with them or anything, but fucking thing is gone. This figure, no complaints at all. Everything perfect, top to bottom. Same thing with Ricky Steamboat. This is from his WWE return. I think it was 91. Against Brooklyn Brawler when he came back from NWA or something. He's another one. Like, I just have no complaints about this guy. If I had to pick one, it would be that tail makes it tough for him to stand, but other than that, there's like no problem with him. I don't know, maybe I could spin him around. It's cool. It's kind of cool the setup he has on the back of him here. Like, all that stuff, like, kind of disconnects and comes off, you know, if like some kid wanted to have him in his wrestling ring attire or something like that. Needless to say, this would be a figure that if a kid had it, man, shit would get lost, because there are, if you took every little piece of them off and set it down, you probably have 8 or 9 pieces. Maybe, well, if you want to get technical and take those like wrist pad things off, there'd probably be more than that, but he gets 5 stars too. I mean, every one of these Defining Moments is great. Biggest complaint of all 5 of these would be that the Warrior's face isn't Warrior-ish. That's it. I mean, that's the only thing, really. not that it's a complaint, but another thing I'm surprised at is that this Macho Man's so easy to find. I mean, this thing is as easy to find as the Brian Pillman Legend figure. I mean, that thing has been in some stores so long that I've actually seen packages that almost look like they were sun faded or something because they've been sitting there so long. It's crazy. So that's a review for the Defining Moments for the time being. Next time I'll do, guys, that maybe a couple of figures that I don't really like as much. So we'll check those out next time. But I do have a lot of them to go through because I got like the Jakks figures back here and Hasbro's, and I got all the Mattels up here, so I got a bunch of them that I could go through. Alright, I'll talk to you next time.